Hi again, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Camper Tech with Eric Faust, your congenial host. Hey, it's a blustery cold day here in central Indiana on January 18th. We've got some weather headed our way. We've already been through some. We've had ice, we've had snow. Now tonight, and this is why I'm bringing this up to you, especially in the northern states. In the southern states where you lucky people are, don't even have to worry about it. But this is what we have to face up north. It's going to get cold tonight. Wind chills in the single digits. Be preemptive. Be ready. Have your antifreeze with you. Have your furnaces with you, extra furnace parts. Again, be proactive. Now, be proactive. And if you're staying on your campground, you're not going out on a mobile call or anything like that. Talk to your customers. Make sure that everybody, hey, they have plenty of propane, that their water supply, that's heated, that everything's up and running, because you don't need a bunch of headaches. Again, it can be a moneymaker, but it can also be a headache. So you kind of have to come to that midpoint to where everything jives, with your schedule. So again, anticipate the weather. That can be our best friend or our worst enemy. And I don't know about you, but I certainly don't like climbing under a camper when it's 5 degrees out to fix something. I don't like to even be on the outside when it's 5 degrees out. So, can you hear that? That's the wind. That's actually the wind coming through. We've got wind warnings. So, again, keep that in mind. Try to be proactive with your campers. If you have an email list or you have a text list at your campground, just kind of get the message out to them. And, which isn't a bad idea. Have everybody on your text list. You can send out a group text. It's kind of like how schools do. They have a warning system. Hey, there won't be school today. They just blanket their whole clientele. Set up something like that with your campground. And set in those reminders, put some bullet points in there. Hey, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. It's going to save you and them a lot of time and frustration. Okay, you got it? Okay. All right, first up is Sadie from Corpus Christi, Texas. Dear Eric, we're excited to be part of your program. As you know, my husband and I have a 160-site campground. I'm going to keep that unnamed for right now. And we hired a technician who used to be in the automotive industry for many years. As a technician, he's taking to this like a duck to water, and his wife also has gone around following him, and she's actually instituted the level 1 cleaning program. They work very well together. We want to employ them full time. We also want to send them out doing mobile work, as we want to institute a mobile program. Now, that's the kind of thinking I like. Man, you have good heads on your shoulders. I knew that when I was first talking to you. That's awesome. So you're finally going to do the mobile thing. Okay. Well, and I'm going to call you later on, but this is, for our audience about mobile program and what to do. But man, that's great. I love hearing that. And we at Camper Tech, we're going to see it through all the way. We're going to be there to help you every step of the way. You're going to go mobile, right? Okay. So the first thing you want to do, a lot of people use their own vehicles, and that's fine, especially if you're just getting started, you're just launching, we don't have unlimited income, but I'm going to just segue right in. Let's just say you've made a little bit of money and you want to reinvest that money. The first thing you do is you buy a van. It doesn't have to be brand new. It doesn't have to be the fanciest, but make sure it's mechanically reliable and in halfway decent shape. Take that van. And by the way, I like those little Sprinter vans, and I like the little Ford Transport vans. They're easy to drive, they're easy to park, they're reliable, they're fuel efficient to some degree, and they will hold a lot. And most people can drive them. So again, that's a great idea. Like you're thinking. Also, a panel van, that'll work as well. So get your van. You want to equip that with the tools that you basically have at your disposal on your campground. You remember the video I did the other day? Well, that's basically the same thing. Have those tools that you have at your disposal in your central depot, in your office, in your shop, whatever, and duplicate those tools. If you can afford it, duplicate those tools, put them in on your van, and have them be ready at all times. So another thing to do is, you'll have to excuse the crunching. I have my 2 Basset Hound helpers here with me. Someday I'll show you a video of those 2 idiots. Yeah, I'm talking about you guys. Thanks for the help. They won't let me do anything without their help. Anyhow, make sure that the van is in good repair. Again, make sure that you have all the proper tools. And again, I made that video on that tool list, and when we did talk on the phone, told you about some more tools that you should have. All the hand tools and some power tools. Another thing that I didn't go over is get you a little jump box. Look how portable this is. And you know what? You can hook right up to any battery. You can start any RV with these little powerhouses. This is from DB Power. I got it right off of Amazon. I think I got it for $79, something stupid cheap like that. And it has helped me out in ways that I never would have thought. I have started RVs, and then I'm talking diesels. I have leveled up campers. I have put out slides. I've run the lights. I've run the 12-volt systems, all off of one charge on one of those. Get one. Have it at your disposal. Get 2 of them. Keep one at your disposal in the campground, especially if you're going to have, part of your staff staying back at the campground, and then you're instituting this mobile program. Make sure they both have duplicate sets of tools, if you can. That's important. But again, have those jump boxes. And again, have all the hand tools. Have everything that you can think of. Again, the key word is anticipation. Anticipate what you're going to need. Because I'll tell you what, there's nothing worse than having to, you drive 40 miles, you get to the camper. Okay, I'm ready to fix this. And it's like, I forgot XYZ tool. God, I've got to go back and get that. I forgot, it's a flex cable. I forgot to get that. I forgot to get the plumbing snake. I forgot to get this wire connector. You know what? There's nothing worse than going back and having to go to your central depot and picking up the part, driving all the way back, or maybe running into town and getting, the same part and having to pay for that. That just takes money out of your pocket and it wastes time. So remember, anticipate. Try to have everything on that. And that's what leads me into the next thing is when you get ready to go out on a mobile call. Obviously, you haven't seen the camper. You know nothing about it. And that's why it's important for you, not your office staff. It's okay if your office staff has people come in and they want to write some stuff up. You can go up and visit the camper, finish filling out the paperwork. But again, have your paperwork ready. Call the owner of the RV/camper because you need to get in as many details as you can about what's going on. That way you can anticipate. For example, let's say, you're on the phone with the customer. Hey, this is Sadie from XYZ campground, and I understand that your air conditioning isn't working. Okay, and what kind of camper is that? Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, I know what that is. Okay, if you can, have them even take a picture of the camper and send it to you. Look, everybody has texting. Have them send that to you. May not be a bad idea. And then that way you can tell exactly what kind of unit they have. And have those in stock in both your van and at your central depot. Have a Dometic and have a Coleman and have both derivations of both. An 8500, 13.5, 15K BTU air conditioners. You'll want those to be on hand. I know it's an investment, but it's one that's going to pay off. Because again, almost all campers here, invariably, their air conditioners go out. We replace probably 50 a year. Without exaggeration, probably 50 a year. It's always good to have them on hand. Because you have one on hand, somebody says, hey, my air conditioning is going out, everything's melting, whatnot. Hey, no problem. I can have that in an hour and a half for you. That impresses them. So again, have them in your van, have them at your central depot. All right. And that, again, that's part of the inventory that you're going to want. Also in your inventory, you're going to want your assortment of connectors, plumbing. You're going to want different types of converters. If you can have at least 2 converter power supplies there and converter distribution panels, have that. You know what? Have switches. Always have switches. I see switches go out all the time. They're cheap. Keep them in stock. Bulbs. You wouldn't believe how many times that I've had to go out on a mobile call and the customer was in a panic because their light quit working. And I thought, okay, well, I took a light fixture with me, which is always good to have. I took a light fixture with me and I was ready to replace the whole thing when it was simply bulbs. Their bulbs were burnt out. Hey, they had to pay the hour for diagnostics, so you know what? It wasn't too bad. They also had to pay for the trip charge because we're not doing this for free. So keep that in mind. Along with the bulbs, keep various light fixtures. Pretty much light fixtures are standard. They all look the same. They're going to be the same. Again, anticipate your customer base. Try to figure out what's going on, generally in the area, because again, each area differs. In your area, I know it's hot down there, almost year round. So again, you're going to have air conditioners, you're going to have thermostats, keep digital and analog thermostats, keep thermistors, keep that in supply for that van, and at your central depot at the hottest time of the year. Now, let's say for those of you up north, you know what? You want to keep furnace boards, Atwood and Suburban. Keep boards. They usually have 3 boards of each one. I know that Atwood has 3 boards. Suburban has 2. Keep those in stock. Again, it's an investment. They're not expensive. Keep them on board because 90% of the time that's going to be the problem. And so you get there, you swap out the board. Again, hour and a half of labor and the trip charge. You're on your way back there happy. Okay, so I like the idea that again, it's great thinking, Sadie. I really like your enthusiasm. That couple wants to take a team approach, and while the husband's doing the repairs and the diagnostics, that she's actually cleaning and detailing the unit, doing a wash and wax, minor roof repair, decor, etc. God, what a great team effort. You can double up on your hours and double your profit at the same time. That's brilliant thinking. So that is awesome. I think you've got a great idea. I like how you're forward thinking on your mobile program, because I tell you what, a mobile program, especially again, like I'd said in an earlier video, the dealers can't handle this onslaught. I mean, more and more people are RVing. The dealers, they're not going to suddenly add to their service departments, and there are only so many mobile technicians out there. And with your campground having a mobile van with your logo and your phone number and your website on there, people are going to see that. So while you're on your way to your destination, to fix a camper, somebody might look over and say, you know what? There's something wrong with my camper. I'm going to give them a call. Again, that's why you have the paperwork and you keep at least 5 copies in your van at all time. Because you know what? On your way to or on your way back, you might be making another service call. And guess what? You or your technicians are going to be making more money. Right? Okay. Well, that settles that. So yeah, keep up the good work, and I'm going to be getting a hold of you, and we're going to set up this mobile program. I'll even help you find a van. I've got some good ideas on where to get them in your area, and I can take a look at them. Again, being a former service manager in the automotive industry, I know what to look for. Let's put this together. We're going to get you successful, right? And anybody else who's in our program. Anybody else in the Camper Tech program, again, if I have to, I'll personally come to your facility and help get you set up, okay? All right. Carl S. from Waterbury, New Hampshire. Oh, man, it's going to be cold up there. I think it's going to be colder up there than it is here. Well, Carl asks, Eric, the cable slide on my customer's 2017 Passport 2810 BH quit working on the front side. The back side goes in and out, but the front side won't budge. What could it be? Well, I'll tell you what it can be. It can be a giant pain in the tush. No, where do I start? Okay. You're going to have to allow for a couple days. You didn't say whether this was was on your campground or whether it's at their house or whatever. I would assume that it's on your campground. It's going to need to stay like that for a couple days, and I'm going to tell you why. My guess, you didn't go into great detail about what else happened to it, what's going on with it. Cable slides are very complicated. They're very efficient, but they designed the cable slides, one, to be lighter. They're about 75 to 80% lighter than the rack and pinion slide system. And so with these ultralight campers, they're ideal for them. Both cable drives and Schwinn-Tech. Passport, that's all they use is cable slides. And let me back up a little bit on that. Passport, man, that's a phenomenally built camper. I never see problems with them. I can't think of the last time I even made a call on a Passport camper other than winterizing or de-winterizing. They just stay together. They're that good. Leads me to believe that they probably had something in the way when they were trying to retract the slide. It could be a dog dish. I've seen that happen. It could be a tennis shoe. I've seen that happen. Again, something happened to make that do that because they just don't do that. So I have a feeling that it is a broken chain. And I'm going to call you up here in a little bit. I want you to send me some pictures. But hey, both of you, stop it. Sorry about that. My helpers sometimes get a little bit, they sometimes get a little grouchy. Yeah, basset hounds get grouchy. Anyhow, so you guys are idiots. Thanks a lot. So, got to pet this one. So, anyhow, where was I now before I was so rudely interrupted by a couple idiot hounds, right? God, you guys have to help me with everything, don't you? Anyhow, again, something happened to make that slide break like that because it just doesn't happen. So, my guess is, it's not a broken cable because the slide would at least move at the top or the bottom if it were a broken cable. No, what it is I'm sure, again, I haven't seen the camper, I don't know, and that's why I want you to send me pictures. I'm sure it's a broken chain. Again, it has a drive chain that hooks to cables. And you've got a myriad of adjustments. They can drive you crazy. Okay, take that chain, if it is broken. But before you do that, you want to make sure your slide's in from the wall about 12, anywhere from 8 to 12 inches. That way you can work behind that and you can watch the cable work and make sure that nothing's jammed behind there. And you can still get to the motor head. So on that motor head is, you have two sets of gears and they both turn at the same time. One, the chain goes out one way, and the other, the chain goes out that way. The motor turns inward, your slide comes in as the cables are pulling it in. You take it outward, the slide goes back out. It's really a clever system, and it works, and it's basically trouble-free. I mean, the cable systems have come a long way. They're highly reliable, but again, I think you've got a broken chain. So with that being said, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to order a section of chain. Let's hope that it's just a pin that broke in the chain. That's an easy fix. You put it back in, you're good to go. You don't have to do anything else. But if the chain broke, and I've seen it happen, it's in the middle, and it's happened more times than I'd like to even imagine, but you're going to have to order a section of chain, and you put that chain on. It's going to have to be put on exactly like the other side. So you have, let's say from the axis, the center of the motor, you count out, and it's 15 lengths, chain lengths to the cable block. Okay, make sure that you position that on your other side to where it's 15 lengths. If not, you're going to be out of adjustment, and your cable blocks, you're not going to be able to adjust them within. They're good for about 3/4 of a length. I know it's technical, and I'm up at level 2, and I'm up at level 3 actually. But so you want it to be exactly at that juncture point. Chain stretch. So basically what you're going to have to do is you are going to have some adjustment, and that's where you're going to want your little impact driver, cordless. That's always good to have your little cordless impact driver with a 7/16 and a 5/8 and a 3/8 deep well socket, because you're going to be doing a lot of adjustment to get that in and out just perfectly, and it's going to take some time. I would say that I would charge your customer a minimum of 8 hours. Believe it or not, you'll be surprised how long that'll take for such a simple fix. If it doesn't take that long, hey, you know what? You've saved your customer some money, and but yet you've profited. So I'll be getting a hold of you, and let's see what we can't figure out on that thing. Also, while you're thinking, and all of you other subscribers out there, when you're working on a cable slide, they can be dangerous. I've seen cables give way. They're under tremendous amounts of pressure. There's always resistance on the cables. Your extension cables and your retraction cables, they're always on a yin-yang type of relationship, and they have to be tight against one another. That's how the whole cable system works with that tension. If that cable pops, man, that thing can go flying. And if it breaks and you've got a cable block on end, I'll tell you what, it could be lethal. So always wear your safety glasses. Always be cognizant of what's going on. And the biggest thing is, do not get in a hurry. Slow down. That next camper you've got on your agenda, look, don't even think about it. It doesn't matter right now. It matters right now is what you get fixed. You also want to prop up the slide while you're working on it. Again, prop it up. There are some really cool little tripod jacks that are screw jacks, and you can extend them out. I believe you can get those at Harbor Freight. You can find them online. They're handy. Again, get 2 sets. Have 1 set in your van, 1 set at your central depot, and that helps hold the slide up and takes the pressure off of those cables so you can do your work. If you don't have them, you know what? I've used 2x4s, and brace them up, cut them down, brace them up, to keep that slide level. Always have a bottle jack on you, because you may need to jack that slide up a little bit. Again, have 2 bottle jacks, one in your central depot, 1 in your van. And so again, take the pressure off that slide, and that way it makes it a lot easier to put that chain on. And again, I'll give you a call. Let's get through this. You know where to send your pictures to me. I want to see pictures exactly. Take that fascia off. Again, gently pry it off. The fascia, inside fascia, is going to have to come off, because look, you have that much working room. That's why they design those cable systems. I mean, I've seen them that close, just enough for the motor head. So take that off, send me pictures. We'll get through this. We'll get it fixed. We'll get the customer happy. We'll make you some money, and all will be right with the world, right? Okay. Well, hey, that does it for another Q&A session. I'm glad you hung with me. Now let's get to work.